How do these underground rappers make so much bread? They make their bread because they get the advance from the label because they just signed. They're like newly signed people. And also, they do shows. So like I hear some of the rates. It's definitely in the thousands of dollars per show. So whenever they pop out, especially like Ken and Lone, like they actually sell real tickets. Yeet actually sells tickets. But also they just stream consistently. So for the independent ones like Summer and Can, they get like solid paychecks. Now taxes you have to take away from that because DistroKid or SoundCloud monetization doesn't really take it out. You have to pay it yourself. That is if they pay it. I think Can does because his manager they do their business right. How do they maintain the house? Summer's had a penthouse before shows. Yeah, I mean, a lot of rappers will get money for the shows and then they'll just get an Airbnb, or a lot of times it's literally in the contract. Like the promoter, the person who's throwing the show, will book the Airbnb for the rapper, but they might also stay there, or like their whole crew will stay there. So it's like just, you know, it's a part of the negotiation. So you might spend it's like a discounted rate on the actual booking fee if you book the Airbnb as well, the travel. But if you don't book the travel as well, they might bump it up like another 500,000, 2,000, whatever it is. You know? Summers and Can bought a house. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They both make good money. I'd buy a house right now too, but I just got into a new contract and I had to pay myself out of another contract to get back down here. And then I'm waiting for the housing market to go down. If they bought a house right now, I don't know why they did that, because the housing market's literally at its peak, or like it was at its peak a couple months ago and it's going down now, and interest rates are high. Unless they bought it in full cash, which, you know, I would not be surprised if they bought it all in cash if it's two people, but that's how they make their money. Shows, streams, features. Like these rappers are selling, like I think Summer's feature was like 15K or some shit to even big rappers. I think like that's how much Jace paid for Summers on Go Through Trees. That's how they make the money. But that's why shows and merch, like that's just straight cash. Vega, you are a fucking GOAT, my guy. I appreciate you. I swear to God. Especially because there's somebody who is trying to scam me. I played their song on Twitch like 2 months ago and they charged back on the donation. And I went on PayPal and I fucked them up and I disputed it. I was like, nah, they pay me that. And I sent the recording. I was like, no, I played their song, whatever they asked me to do. Plus, I don't even care. I like if they paid me a tip or a donation, technically I don't gotta do anything. So, and then I sent him an email like, yo, nice job trying to scam me, little bro. You can't do shit. 15K for Summers feature is crazy. 15K actually might not be bad for a Summers feature. He's like one of the top people in this generation right now when it comes to stream. Like his album's streaming more than Ken Carson, at least from the numbers that we saw, right? It's more than X, at least from Summers numbers. We'll see though. I don't know. 15K. I mean, what is that? What is that like streams wise? I'll calculate that. So you gotta divide it with 15,000 divided by 0.00. You need to get like 3 mil streams to break even. I feel like Summers can bring you 3 mil streams if you really have a good song over time, like over a couple months. Then you get the notoriety, the credibility, you get the cosign. You could utilize that for a marketing budget. What about with rappers with 20K, seeing them go from rags to riches? A lot of these rappers just be scamming. You got 20K followers and like you know, there's no way. Or they're getting backed by somebody. As I told you, a lot of these rappers get picked up. Like the A&Rs, they watch that, like their whole job as an A&R is just to look at underground rappers that have 5,000 followers or like a couple hundred followers on SoundCloud, but have like a song that's like has potential for the label to sign them. And because they want to get that artist and sign them before other labels find them as well, because then they're like, in the Don Cannon interview we discussed, like if you have a song that goes viral on TikTok, then there's like a bidding war from the labels, and the it's like if you're bidding for I don't know, you're at like a bid thing, like 1 million going once, 1 million twice, sold, you know, like, and then the other person's like, no, 1.2 million. So the more labels involved, the higher your price goes. So they really want to get them at like 5,000, or else it might not even be worth it to pay such a fat advance. But yeah, so if the artists who are bringing in bread at that point at 20K, like that's probably what. And also the management of these artists might not even be rich. The management might just be putting them in a new set of clothes as like a little advance before. And I've seen it happen before they sign them to a label and shop them around, because they want them to look rich and hot, pause, for the fans, so the fans can believe it. It's like the fake it till you make it. And also you need to have a certain aesthetic and express yourself and like have a certain brand, and you can't do that looking like a fucking bum on the side of the street. So it makes sense that the managers are doing this, but they're fronting that, so they're not necessarily rich. And plus they're staying at Airbnbs and whatnot that the manager, or they're staying at the manager's house or like the A&R's house, so they're not paying for anything. They're living the good life, but they're not paying for anything. They're like Lil Hoes. These rappers like Lil Hoes at the labels or whatever, like the rich dudes, right? The managers, the A&Rs, the rappers are just trying to get signed. Tips for an underground rapper to Dior is asking some good questions. The only tip for an underground artist signing is just get your leverage, because the more leverage you have, aka the more followers, the more streams, the more people that you have underneath you, that you already have your whole advertising agency or like your own marketing team and own manager or whatever. Like if the label doesn't have to do anything but give you money, and that just cuts down severely the budget they have to give you. If you have your own producers, or like, you know, you already have all your business handles, such as like Yeat. That's why Yeat has such good deals, because he already had all that figured out. He even had his own like videographers on staff for his music videos. So if you have all that, the label really doesn't have to do anything, so you don't have to pay them for the administrative costs. And yeah, get leverage and a lawyer. Thank you, Johnny Socket. You get a lawyer, then they know how to negotiate for you. And yes, I would do a fan meetup. That would be sick. That'd be sick. I would have to figure, it would probably be like in LA or some shit, because I feel like that's where a lot of y'all are. Or I actually went to Atlanta and I got recognized a lot, 10 times in one day. So maybe Atlanta. If I don't get shot, how can you afford a lawyer? Lawyers sometimes will go off of, well, the management will pay for it, but then you got to get a lawyer for the management deal. Also, sometimes lawyers will go off a percentage of how much you're getting through the contract. So you can tell them that, like, hey, I'm an artist, you know, I've gotten a label that is asking me to sign for $1 million. The lawyer might take like 1, 2, 3% of that to make sure that you're all set, and to make sure you have all of the necessary protections, and you get all of the, you know, creative control or the perks that you want, to make sure that you'll be satisfied in 3 years from now when the label isn't acting like they were at first. Because once you sign that deal, it's like banging a girl, right? Once you fuck that first time, as a man, you have all the leverage. Before that, you had none. You were just trying to get in her pants. Same thing with the label. The label has all the leverage once you sign. But before that, the artist is the one who has the leverage, because they want that talent. And even if you aren't successful, they want that tax write-off. But just the small chance that you might be a superstar,